That's true enough. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you was just.
Woo, 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 woo. We reading Lao Tzu with Modern Warfare 2. Holla, 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 holla. Featuring Shaggy the Writer and Against the World.
Against the World. G. Goat World. Check me out.
Welcome
on
to Pull the
Lab
Trigger
as well.
101.
Got music.
Private Allen here is going to do a quick weapons demonstration to show you locals how it's done.
Well, we're
No
not really
offense,
gonna be getting
but I see a lot of you guys
warfare.
firing
We're
from
gonna
the
be
hip
getting
and spraying
into
bullets
this
all over the
live
range. You don't end up hitting the damn thing, and it makes you look like an ass. Private Allen, show them what I'm talking about. Grab that weapon off the table and fire at the targets behind you.
This should be louder than but yeah, I guess I can start it off. But yeah, we're gonna be doing different perspectives towards different stuff that we read. So, you know what? We is not about to go into the introduction. We gonna go straight to it.
Private Allen, grab that weapon off the table and fire at the targets behind you.
The way that can be spoken of is not the constant way. The name that can be named is not the constant name. The nameless was the beginning of heaven and earth. The name was the mother of the myriad creatures. Hence, always rid yourself of desires in order to observe its secrets, but always allow yourself to have desires in order to observe its manifestations. These two are the same, but diverge in name as they issue forth. Being the same, they are called mysteries. Mystery
Private
upon
Allen,
mystery.
grab
The
that weapon off
gateway
the table
of the
and fire at the
manifold
targets
secrets.
behind you.
The whole world recognizes the beautiful as the beautiful, yet this is only the ugly. The whole world recognizes the good as the good, yet this is only the bad. Thus something and nothing produce each other. The difficult and the easy complement each other. The long and the short offset each other. The high and the low incline towards each other. Note and sound harmonize with each other.
Private Allen,
Before and after
grab that weapon off the table
follow
and fire
each
at
other.
the targets behind
Therefore,
you.
the sage keeps to the deed that consists in taking no action and practice the teaching that uses no words. The myriad creatures rise from it, yet it claims no authority. It gives them life, yet claims no possession. It benefits them, yet exacts no gratitude. It accomplishes its task, yet lays claim to no merit. It is because it lays claim. Hold on, I'm about to get to that too. Claim to no merit
Private
that
Allen,
it is merit.
grab that weapon off the
never
table and fire at the
deserts
targets
it.
behind you.
Okay, so what zoned me out is it felt like I was subscribing to something as I was reading it, bro, because it spoke of the myriad.
The myriad creatures.
The myriad.
Myriad creatures,
Myriad,
yes.
okay.
That means like a plethora, like a whole bunch of different creatures.
Okay.
The myriad of creatures rise from it, yet it claims no authority. Okay, there it goes.
Okay, the
Myriad.
myriad.
It's cool, man. That's one you don't see too often in books enough to think to look something like that up.
Private Allen,
I've only seen
grab
it
that
a few
weapon off
times
the table
to
and
know
fire
what
at
it
the
was.
targets behind you.
Definitely about to look that up, man, because that just felt like my spirit was subscribing to something when I was reading it.
Like you thought it was like Cthulhu monsters or something. That's how it sounded to me. Like he was actually going into detail about some sort of crazy otherworldly being, which that would be interesting.
Yeah,
Right.
and
It's
see, it
interesting enough as it is. Let's be honest.
Okay, so let's play that. Myriad.
Private Allen,
A
grab that
countless
weapon off
or
the table and
extremely
fire at the
great
targets behind
number.
you.
Okay, so it's saying the myriad creatures. The myriad creatures. So a countless, extremely great number of creatures rise from it, yet it claims no authority.
Word. That's better than the definition I gave you. That's for sure.
Yeah, so like it's literally like I have to subscribe into my mind to the creation of something outside of myself in order to have relativity with what
Private
I'm reading.
Allen,
That's why
grab that
I was
weapon off the table
stunned.
and fire
Like,
at the targets
yo,
behind you.
what's going on? So it as I go down, because I went through this before and that zoned me out, but for some reason I feel like I'm reading this again. And I actually wrote, man becomes God, man dies to become God, God dies to becomes man. Before and after follow each other. That like when I originally had tried to feel something from this, that's what I picked up from this. But
that's actually kind of dope.
yeah, because
I can see how you drew the
Private
conclusion
Allen,
there.
grab that
yeah,
weapon off the
like
table
because
and fire at the targets
there was
behind
no
you.
other way. Yeah, and then these are Chinese terms bust down into English translation and still trying to keep
Right.
up with the elegance of the Chinese way with their words. But it's like that shit would throw somebody out for real, especially a westernized mind like myself that has so much creativity with certain words, especially words that I've seen in other shit.
Yeah.
So yeah. So not to honor men or worth will keep the people
Private
from
Allen,
contention.
grab that
Not to
weapon off the
value
table and
goods
fire at
which
the
are
targets
hard to
behind you.
come by will keep them from theft. Not to display what is desirable will keep them from being unsettled of mind. Therefore, in governing the people, the sage empties their minds but fills their bellies, weakens their wills but strengthens their bones. He also keeps them innocent of knowledge and free of desire, and ensures that the clever not dare to act. Do that which consists
Private
in
Allen,
taking no action,
grab that weapon
and
off the
order
table and
will
fire
prevail.
at the targets behind you.
Word.
Yeah, man, this is deep. The way is empty, yet use will not drain it. Deep, it is like the ancestor of the myriad creatures. Blunt the sharpness, untangle the knots, soften the glare. Let your wheels move only along old ruts. Darkly visible, it only seems as if it were there. I know not whose son it is. It images the forefather of God.
Word. Give me a pick up.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Private
definitely
Allen,
let you pick up,
grab
man.
that
because
weapon
that's
off the table
just
and
like-
fire at the targets
Yeah,
behind
no,
you.
you're
Blowing
doing
my
a
mind.
fantastic job aside
Bruh.
from Myriad.
Yeah, Myriad is.
Myriad's kind of a twister. man.
Yeah, man. The fact
Myriad.
how like seeing it, man. I don't know
Yeah.
why I think of Mariah, like. 'Cause it-
Right, because it's the Y in there. It's
like,
not exactly how you
Myriad.
would assume it would be spelled. But it's not a word that people use on a daily basis either.
It definitely isn't, man. That's.
I don't know. And I got close to the definition with a plethora, but it's
Private
all
Allen,
right.
grab that weapon off the table and
and
fire at the targets
enunciation
behind
is
you.
Definitely on point, like
Myriad.
myriad.
I thought it was myriad, so I'm not
Myriad.
even pronouncing it right.
Myriad. Okay.
Yeah. Heaven and earth are ruthless and treat the myriad creatures as stray dogs. The sage is ruthless and treats the people as stray dogs. Is not the space between heaven and earth like a bellow? It is empty without being exhausted. The more it works, the
Private
more it
Allen,
comes out.
grab that weapon off the
Much
table and fire at the
speech
targets
leads
behind you.
invariably to silence. Better to hold fast to the void. Ooh. Rick and Morty.
Man, like they, man.
He was doing some time travel adventure. He's seen the future. The spirit of the valley never dies. This is called the mysterious female. The gateway of the mysterious female is called the root of heaven and earth. Dimly visible,
Private Allen,
it seems
grab
as
that
if
weapon
it
off
were
the table
there,
and fire at the targets
yet
behind you.
use will never drain it. Bet. Heaven and earth are enduring. The reason why heaven and earth can be enduring is that they do not give themselves life. Hence, they are able to be long-lived. Therefore, the sage puts his person last, and it comes first. Treat it as extraneous to himself.
Private Allen, grab
And
that
it
weapon
is
off the table and fire at
preserved.
the targets behind you.
It is not because he is without thought of self that he is able to accomplish his private ends. Actually, that was more read like that was supposed to be read more like a question than a statement.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's
is it
that's-
not because he is without thought of self that he is able to accomplish his private ends? Word. So he tried to make you critically think this whole thing through.
Private Allen,
Like
grab
each
that
line-
weapon off the
each
table and
line
fire at the targets behind
he
you.
intentionally is keeping these pages short because each line holds meaning. And it's like with Dickens, he hides like little gems in like millions and millions of words. But then you've got Lao Tzu, who just goes through and just flat out gives you all the gems on paper right when you need them.
It's pretty direct too, man.
Private
You know, it
Allen,
doesn't give you too
grab
much,
that weapon off the
you
table
know.
and fire at the targets behind you.
Yeah, he just really is like, there's
It's
no,
awesome for that.
yeah, there's like no excess to it. There's just straight to the point how he feels about these things. And, you know, he just exalted women to basically the highest degree based on the fact that he got pleasure from them. And that's some shit only a woman can continue to produce life. It's kind of lit. Hold up, I need to pull this up so we can see. Apparently we have 3 comments already, which is awesome.
Private
I'm glad to
Allen,
see so many
grab that
viewers
weapon off the
already.
table and fire at the targets behind you.
Highest good is like water, because water excels in benefiting myriad creatures without contending with them and settles where none would like it to be. It comes close to the way. In a home, it is the sight that matters. In quality of mind and depth, that matters.
Private
In an
Allen,
ally, it
grab
is
that weapon off the
benevolence
table and fire
that
at the
matters.
targets behind you.
In speech, it is good faith that matters. In government, it is order that matters. In affairs, it is ability that matters. In action, it is timelessness that matters. It is because it does not contend that it is never at fault. Rather than fill it to the brim by keeping it upright, better to have stopped in time. Hammer it to a point, and the sharpness cannot be preserved forever. There may be gold and jade
Private
to
Allen,
fill a hall,
grab that
but
weapon
there
off the
is
table and
none
fire at the
who can
targets
keep
behind you.
them. To be overbearing when one has wealth and position is to bring calamity upon oneself. To retire when the task is accomplished is the way of heaven. When carrying your head, your perplexed bodily soul, can you embrace the arms of one and not let it go? And concentrating
Private
your
Allen,
breath,
grab
can
that
you
weapon off the
become
table
as
and
supple
fire
as
at
a
the targets
babe?
behind you.
Can you polish your mysterious mirror and leave no blemish? Can you love the people and govern the state without resorting to action? I hope so. With the gates of heaven open and shut, are you capable of keeping the role of the female? When your discernment penetrates the 4 quarters, are you capable of not knowing anything? It gives them life and rears them. It gives them life, yet contains no possession. It benefits
Private
them,
Allen,
yet extracts
grab that
no
weapon off the
gratitude.
table and fire at the
It
targets
is
behind
the
you.
steward, yet exercises no authority. Such is the mysterious virtue. So over here, there's like an annotation that says, man has 2 souls, the Po, which is the soul of the body, and the Hun, which is the soul of the spirit. After the death, the Po descends into earth, while the Hun ascends to heaven. The myriad creatures carry on their backs the yin and embrace in their arms the yang. Word. But I was going to have
Private
him pick
Allen,
up from right
grab
here,
that weapon off the
but
table
I
and
just
fire
wanted
at the
to
targets
check in
behind you.
real quick either way and see how our subscriber base is doing, because I see a whole bunch of you guys already checking in, and I'm just absolutely in love with it. One love, y'all. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. What up, Octawave? Yes. Like Zoinks, man, I'm live streaming. Thanks for your likes. Thanks for your likes, man.
Private Allen, grab that weapon off the table and fire at the targets behind you.
30 spokes share one hub. Adapt the nothing therein to the purpose in hand, and you will have the use of the cards. Need clay in order to make a vessel. Adapt the nothing therein to the purpose in hand, and you will have the use of the vessel. Cut out doors and windows in order to make a room. Adapt the nothing therein to the purpose at hand, and you will have the use of the room.
Private Allen, grab that weapon off the table
Thus,
and fire at the targets
what we
behind you.
gain is something, yet it is by virtue of nothing that this can be put to use. 5 colors make man's eyes blind. 5 notes make man's ears deaf. 5 tastes injure his palate. Raiding and hunting make his mind go wild with excitement. Goods hard to come by serve to hinder his progress. Hence the sage is for the belly, not for the eye. Therefore he discards the one and takes
Private
the
Allen,
other.
grab that weapon off the
Favor
table
and
and fire at the
disgrace
targets
are
behind you.
things that startle. High rank is like one's body, the source of great trouble. What is meant by saying favor and disgrace are things that startle? Favor, when bestowed on a subject, serves to startle as much as when it is withdrawn. This is what is meant by saying that favor and disgrace are things that startle. What is meant by saying that high rank is, like one's body, the source
Private
of great
Allen,
trouble?
grab that weapon off the table and fire at the
The
targets
reason I
behind you.
have great trouble is that I have a body. When I no longer have a body, what trouble have I? Hence, he who values his body more than dominion over the empire can be entrusted with the empire. He who loves his body more than dominion over the empire can be given custody of the empire. Take care of yourself, man. He's being real with it. But yes, we got Octawave out here just shouting us out like crazy.
Private Allen, grab that
Oh,
weapon
man,
off the
that's
table
what's
and
up,
fire
man.
at the
Big
targets
love
behind
to
you.
Mass love to all our viewers right now. We glad to see people just checking in and seeing what's popping.
Yo, man, Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu and Modern Warfare. I think that's chunky how, you know, the unit just sitting there waiting on us and they just listening for real.
Right, they're listening to us read Lao Tzu.
They
He's
back
all-
there
he's
big
all
hooping.
into- Yeah, they back
They in
there
the
big
back
with
really
it.
playing ball. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, look at he actually. Oh man.
That shit crazy. So you got 2K and
Private
you
Allen,
got
grab
Modern
that weapon off
Warfare
the
and you
table and
getting the
fire
Lao
at the
Tzu.
targets behind you.
Word. Lao Tzu, Lao Tzu.
So
What's-
everything cool. They can hear us pretty good too. Like,
Yes, I believe Octawave can hear us quite well, because he responded to me,
oh,
or
that's what's
she.
up.
Either way, you're awesome. They are awesome. Love you, viewers. What cannot be seen is called evanescent. What cannot be heard is called rarefy. What cannot be touched is called
Private Allen,
minute.
grab that weapon off the table and fire
These
at the
three
targets
cannot
behind you.
be fathomed, and so they are confused and looked upon as one. Its upper part is not dazzling, its lower part is not obscure. Dimly visible, it cannot be named. When returns to that which is without substance, this is called the shape that has no shape, the imagination that is without substance. This is called indistinct and shadowy. Go up to it, and you will not see its head. Follow behind it, and you will not see its rear. Hold fast to the way of antiquity, in order to keep in control
Private Allen,
the realm of
grab that
today.
weapon off the table and fire at the
The
targets behind
ability
you.
to know the beginning of antiquity is called the thread running through the way. Know your history, and you will know where you're coming from.
Hey man, you know that's crazy. Like for those who need that more simplified, almost like Moana and Coco. You got to know your ancestry in order to keep up with the future. So it's imperative that we unlock the genius in our genes, because the genius is in the genes. So
Big facts.
So figuring out who you
Private
are
Allen, grab
helps
that weapon off the
navigate
table and
every
fire at the
goddamn
targets
thing.
behind you.
What's up, Baby Yoda? What's up, Warm Socks? Y'all are awesome for tuning in. Jala Rastafari. Although he does not atone to that, I kind of do. But we're not going to get into that because we're reading Lao Tzu. Yes, Lao Tzu and Modern Warfare 2. These guys are listening to us read. They're a lovely audience. I'm going to do 50 and then you want to take over?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Word. Of old he was blah 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 blah. Of old he who was well versed in the way was minutely subtle, mysteriously
Private Allen,
comprehending,
grab
and
that
too
weapon off the
profound
table
to
and
be
fire
known.
at the targets
It
behind
is
you.
because he could not be known that he can only be given a makeshift description, tentative, as if fording a river in winter. Formal like a gust, hesitant in the fear of his neighbors, falling apart like thawed ice, thick like the uncarved block, vacant like a valley, murky like muddy water. Who can be muddy and yet settling slowly to become
Private
limpid?
Grab
Who
that weapon
can
off the
be
table and
at
fire at
rest
the
and
targets
yet
behind you.
stirring slowly to come to life? He who holds fast to this way desires not to be fooled, because he is not fooled, that he can be worn and newly made. Word, I kind of needed that.
I do my utmost to attain emptiness. I hold firmly to stillness. But maybe, oh man.
Private
God,
Allen,
get up.
grab that weapon off the table and fire at the targets behind you.
No kidding. It's okay, that was not meant to be. So, I do my utmost to attain emptiness. I hold firmly to stillness. The myriad creatures all rise together, and I watch their return. The teeming creatures all return to their separate roots. Returning to one's roots is known as stillness. That is what is meant by returning to one's
Private Allen,
destiny.
grab that
Returning
weapon off
to
the
one's
table and fire at
destiny
the targets
is
behind you.
known as the constant. Knowledge of the constant is known as discernment. Woe to him who willfully innovates while ignorant of the constant, but should act from knowledge of the constant. One's inspiration will lead to impartiality, impartiality to kingliness, kingliness to heaven, heaven to the way to perpetuity, and to the end of one's
Private Allen,
days.
grab
one
that
will
weapon off
meet
the table and
with
fire at the
no
targets behind
danger.
you.
This is so calm.
The best of all the rulers is but a shadowy presence to his subjects. Next comes the ruler they love and praise. Next comes one they fear. Next comes one with whom they take liberties. When there is not enough faith, there is lack of good faith. Hesitant, he does not utter words lightly. When his task is accomplished
Private
and his
Allen,
work done,
grab
the
that
people
weapon off the
all
table
say
and fire
it
at the targets
happened
behind you.
to us naturally. When the great wave falls into desus, there are benevolence and rectitude. When cleverness emerges, there is great hypocrisy. When the six relations are at variance, there are filial children. When the state is benign, there are loyal ministers. Got this old
Private Allen,
English in format
grab
right
that weapon
here.
off the table and fire at the targets behind
Exterminate
you.
the sage, discard the wise, and the people will benefit 100-fold. Exterminate benevolence, discard rectitude, and the people will again be filial. Exterminate ingenuity, discard profit, and there will be no more thieves and bandits. These three, being false adornments, are not enough, and the people must have something
Private
to
Allen,
which
grab
they
that
can
weapon off the
attach
table and
themselves.
fire at the targets
Exhibit
behind
the
you.
unadorned and embrace the uncarved block. Have little thought of self and as few desires impossible. Like, bro, this is giving some crazy type of I don't know, bro. I can see, like, right now what I was feeling like. I was feeling like an emperor whose last shit was passed down to him in his rulership to what he gonna do with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
yeah.
right here feels so powerful. Like,
Like it's kind of like teaching the ordinary person to conduct business like a king.
Private Allen,
Yeah.
The
grab
king
that weapon
has
off the
the
table and
highest
fire at the
connection
targets
to the
behind you.
heavens,
exactly. And
as is the tradition in China, at least.
and going off of, if anybody is religious, going off of the word king, let's think of King James version, because a lot of this is sort of like proverbs. Like, we notice how we have like a lot of these like philosophies and a lot of these like great meanings in little format of paragraphs. Like, this shit is all made up in proverbs. So, and it's crazy because that was the King James. So, you know, like, this is all everything has like certain variations of itself. The
grab
truth,
that weapon off the table
you know,
and fire
vary
at the
through
targets
all,
behind you.
You know, likeness of humans, because this is the human experience. But this was on their side, and man, I'm telling you, man, the Chinese, bro, that's crazy. But exterminate learning, and there will no longer be words. Wow, look, listen to that shit. Exterminate learning, and there will no longer be words.
Word.
Between yea and nay, how much difference is there? Between good and evil, how great is the difference? What others fear, one must
Private
also
Allen,
fear.
grab
and
that
wax
weapon off the
without
table and
having
fire at the
reached
targets
the
behind
limit.
you.
The multitude are joyous as if partaking of the offering, or going up the terrace in spring. I alone am inactive and reveal no signs, like a baby that has not yet learned to smile, listless as though with no home to go back to. The multitude all have more than enough. I alone seem to be in want. My mind is that of a fool. How blank. Vulgar people
Private
are
Allen,
clear. I
grab that
alone
weapon
am
off the table and
drowsy.
fire at the
Vulgar
targets
people
behind
are
you.
alert. I alone am muddled, calm like the sea, like a high wind that never ceases. The multitude all have a purpose. I alone am foolish and incalmed. I alone am different from others in value, being fed by the mother. In his every movement, a man of great virtue follows the way and the way only.
Private Allen,
As a thing,
grab
the
that
way
weapon off the
is
table and
shadowly
fire at the targets behind you.
indistinct. Indistinct. No,
We're
not
almost there, dude. It was
indistinct. I don't know. I was going with the flow. That's crazy. Indistinct and shadowly, yet within in its image, shadowly and indistinct. Yet within in its substance, dim and dark, yet within in its essence, this essence is quite genuine, and within it, it's something that can be tested from the present back to iniquity.
Private Allen,
Its name
grab
never
that weapon off
deserted
the
it.
table and fire
It
at the targets
serves as a
behind you.
means for inspecting the fathers of the multitude. How do I know that the fathers of the multitude are like that? By means of this. Bowed down the preserved, bent then the straight, hollow then full, worn the new, a little then benefited, a lot then perplexed. Therefore the sage embraces the one and is the model for the empire. He does not show himself, and so is conspicuous.
Private Allen, grab that weapon off the table and fire at the targets
He does
behind
not
you.
consider himself right, and so is illustrious. He does not brag, and so is merit. He does not boast, and so endures. It is because he does not contend that no one in the empire is a position to contend with him. The way the ancients had it, bow down, then preserve, is no empty saying. Truly it enables one to be preserved to the end. To the words, but rarely is to be natural. Hence, a gusty wind cannot last all morning, and a sudden
Private
downpour
Allen,
cannot last all
grab
day.
that weapon off the table and fire
Who
at the targets
is it
behind
that
you.
produces these? Heaven and earth. If even heaven and earth cannot go on forever, much less can man. That is why one follows the way. A man of the way conforms to the way. A man of virtue conforms to virtue. A man of loss conforms to loss. He who conforms to the way is gladly accepted by the way. He who conforms to virtue is gladly accepted by virtue. He who
Private Allen,
conforms to loss
grab
is
that weapon off the
gladly
table and
accepted
fire
by
at the
loss.
targets behind you.
When there is not enough faith, there is lack of good faith. Yo, it is so fried that I'm reading this and that this is saying this because literally I was telling myself, yo, I wish I was on Facebook still because I would say practice does make perfect and never forget that. Because I was playing with this character, Lao Tzu
Yeah.
on Tekken, and I told myself that this is going to be the only character that I play with. So I
Private
started
Allen,
playing with my other
grab that
characters
weapon
just
off
to
the
say,
table
you
and
know
fire
what, I
at the
don't even
targets
care
behind you.
if I lose their rank or whatever. I just want to make sure that Lao Tzu is above, and that's my new character. Yo, when I got that resolve in my mind and I lost this match, it's like a part of me opened and I connected with the character, bro, and I just be like, now it just be like Ultra Instinct. Like I got a feeling for the character, so I'm like beating motherfuckers that's in different rank classes that I shouldn't even be beating right now. with this character that I just started playing with not even a month ago for real. And
Private Allen,
reverting back to this has a lot to do with that because, hold on, let's go back. It says, a man of the way conforms to the way. A man of virtue conforms to virtue. A man of loss conforms to loss. Yo, when I say I took so many losses with Lao Tzu before I got to where that point where I was like, yo, man, I know what the fuck I'm doing wrong and I know what move I need to do when I need to do it. Like, I just gotta keep thinking of it and make it happen simultaneously. So, you know, like, bro, like, that's just real shit right here, how this just busts that down, because if you conform to losses, that shit will build up, and you won't even realize that you are taking the path of a paradox, because, I mean, you've accepted it, so it's like a victory wouldn't even be a victory, because you're caught in the spell of loss, of losing. And it's saying that, excuse me, but it says a man of the way conforms to the way. A man of virtue conforms to virtue. A man of loss conforms to loss. He conforms to the way is gladly accepted by the way. And I felt like that. I felt like, you know what? I'm accepted to the way of Lao Tzu. I even was telling Shaggy, like, you know what? How, you know, cancers are, how our minds, we like the masters of emotions within ourselves, though. Like, you feel me? Like, so we have a lot of problems with other people, but when it comes to ourselves and the world around us, we are masters of the emotions that we receive and what we deal with. So it's like, I needed a character to reflect how my inner self is set up. And Lao Tzu, he a versatile character. Like, he got so many different styles, but, you know what I mean, it comes down to a person knowing how to switch in and out of those styles and know those type of mentals of mind shift, because not a lot of players can play with, you know, certain characters that have different styles. Like, certain characters just had like 2 or 3 styles, like, but he has 5. But back to this though, my bad. I'm trying to get people, like,
yeah, you relating it, it's cool.
Yeah, like, you feel me? And
Private Allen,
he who conforms to the way is gladly accepted by the way. He who conforms to virtue is gladly accepted by virtue. He who conforms to loss is gladly accepted by loss. When there is not enough faith, there is lack of good faith. Boom. Fucking boom. I'll let you, bro, because I just, like,
right.
I just went in, bro.
Yes.
But yeah, man, that's, yeah, man, let me make sure I comment aside here.
He who tiptoes cannot stand.
Private Allen,
he who strides cannot walk. He who shows himself is not conspicuous. He who considers himself right is not illustrious. He who brags will have no merit. He who boasts will not endure. Going too hard with it. But from the point of view of the way these are excessive food and useless accessories are the things that detest them. He who has the way does not abide in them.
Private Allen,
there is a thing confusedly formed before heaven and earth, silent and void. It stands alone and does not change, goes round and does not weary, is capable of being the mother of the world. I know not its name, so I style it the way, with little quotes. I give it the makeshift name of the great. Again, quotes, I love it. Being great is further described as receding. Receding is described as far away. Being far away is described as turning back. Hence, the way is great, heaven is great, earth is great, and the king is also great. Within the realm there are 4 kings that are great, and the king counts as one. Man models himself on earth, earth on heaven, heaven on the way, and the way on that which is naturally so. The heavy is the root of the light, the still is the lord of the restless. Therefore the gentleman, when traveling all day, never lets the heavenly laden cart out of his sight. It is only when he is safe behind the walls and watchtowers that he rests peacefully and is above worries. How then should a ruler of 10,000 chariots make light of his own person in the eyes of his empire? If light, then the root is lost. If restless, then the Lord is lost. One who exceeds in traveling leaves no wheel tracks. One who excels in speech
Private
makes
Allen,
no slips.
grab that weapon off the
One
table
who
and fire at the targets
exceeds
behind
in
you.
reckoning uses no counting rods. One who exceeds in shutting uses no bolts, yet what he has shut cannot be opened. One who excels in trying to use no cords, what he has tied cannot be undone. Therefore the sage always excels in saving people, and so abandons no one. Always excels in saving things, and so abandons nothing. This is called following one's discernment. Hence,
Private
the good
Allen,
man is
grab
the
that
teacher
weapon off the
the
table
bad
and
learns
fire at
from,
the targets behind
and the
you.
bad man is the material the good works on. Not to value the teacher, not to love the material. Though it seems clever, betrays great bewilderment.
Turn around and
This
fire
is
at the
called
targets.
the existential and the secret.
Don't aim at the
Big
sight
shout
yet.
out to our
I'm trying to
viewers.
make a point. Just fire from the hip.
Yeah, awesome.
From the
Popping
hip,
in and out
Private.
and checking out what
Just
I'm
like
doing. You good at shooting?
Don't aim at the sight yet. I'm trying to make a point. Just fire from the hip.
Oh shit! No, I'm not.
From the hip, Private. Just like in the movies. Don't aim at the sight yet.
Know
I'm
the
trying to make a
male,
point
but
here.
keep the
Just
role of
fire
the
from the
female,
hip.
and be a ravine
From the hip,
to
Private.
the empire.
Just
if you
like
are
in
a
the
ravine
movies.
to the empire,
Don't
then
aim
the
at the sight yet.
constant virtue
I'm
will
trying
not
to make a
desert
point
you.
here. Just fire from
You
the hip.
will again return to being a babe. Know the white, but keep the role of the black.
From the hip, Private.
Weird.
Just like in the movies.
If you are a model to the empire, then the constant role
You see what I
of
mean?
virtue will not be wanting.
He sprayed bullets
And
all
you
over
will
the damn place.
return to the infinite.
You've got to pick your targets
No
by aiming
honor
deliberately
to
down your
keep
sights
to the
from a
role
stable
of a
stance.
disgrace.
Private Allen,
And
show
be
our
a
friends here
valley
how
to
the
the
Rangers
empire.
take down a target.
If you
Crouch
are
first,
a valley to
then
the
aim
empire,
down your sight at the target.
then the constant virtue will be sufficient, and you will return to being an uncarved block. When the uncarved block shatters, it becomes vessels. The sage makes use of these and becomes the lord over the officials. Hence, the greatest cutting does not sever. Whoever takes the empire and wishes to do anything to it, I see will have no respite. Salute. The empire is a sacred vessel, and nothing should be done to it. Whenever he does anything to it, will ruin it. Whoever lays hold of it will lose it. Hence some things lead and some things follow. Some breathe gently and some breathe hard. Some are strong and some are weak. Some destroy and some are destroyed. Therefore the sage avoids excess, extravagance, and arrogance. That last one's kind of hard sometimes. One who assists the ruler of men by means of the way does not intimidate the empire by a show of arms. This is something which is liable to rebound. Where the troops have encamped, there will brambles grow. In the wake of a mighty army, bad harvests follow without fail. One who is good aims only at bringing his campaign to a conclusion, and dare not thereby imitate. Bring it to a conclusion, but do not boast. Bring it to a conclusion, but do not brag. Bring it to a conclusion, but do not be arrogant. Bring it to a conclusion, but only when there is no choice. Bring it to a conclusion, but do not intimidate. A creature in its prime doing harm to the old is known as going against the way. That which goes against the way will come to an early end.
Just spoke of all those conclusions.
Well, we do need to conclude. So I greatly appreciate everyone for showing up. And this has been fun reading back and forth. We're already at least a third of the way into this. Well, at least a quarter of the way into this. I forgot how long the introduction was before.
Yeah.
But
Introduction was big long.
big long.
Like,
Bro, that was a myriad of introductions.
perfect.
Facts. But we are on 31.
Myriad.
So as long as we keep something to mark 31. Thank you all so much for showing up. Blessings and peace be upon you.
Against the World. Hey, yo, man, make sure y'all swing over to Against the World G. Make sure y'all swing over to Band Lab. Check me out. Goat World. That's GOATWLRD, like Juice World, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
It's on.
Jalov Rastafari. I am not a crook.